Do we have a blanket or anything to cover it?
I
There
think it
is
did come with a
a
tarp.
canvas tarp. Yes.
Okay, I couldn't remember. Zafir, how are you doing?
I I could sleep. It is kind of the middle of the night, and we did a lot of traveling today, as well as a lot of killing. Why?
We have certainly done a lot today. I just it's been a while since you have accompanied me. I was just checking in.
Okay.
Darian just kind of nods and go to sleep then.
I mean, you're old. Get in the back. You go sleep. I'll drive.
I don't. Both of you get in the back. I am driving.
I can drive. I wasn't really hit in the fight, like, at all.
You're going to need to sleep tonight, and we're not stopping in town. But we're not stopping in Prisma, at least.
Fine. You'll crawl in the back and curl up in one of the corners. Very crammed with the flail sail back there.
Did he save any of the tentacles to use as a pillow?
No. What? Okay, so let me get this straight. The flails have like a pufferfish sort of thing going on with them. It's more of a cartilage than it is just the spines, but that's a recipe for disaster, is what that is.
That's the world's most dangerous neck pillow.
So the way I'm essentially was considering it was that it is like a pufferfish kind of mechanic. I would imagine that like squeezing like the stalk essentially is what causes it, kind of like those stress balls with the nets on them, right?
Yeah.
And the way I pictured it was just kind of that, and then he like squeezed it and then tied a string around it to keep it stuck like that. You cut out.
Yeah, that's about right.
Okay. So no, I would not lay on those, Liberty.
So
I mean, that was an out of character question. Liberty
I also
just
said
focusing
Liberty
on the road ahead.
referring to you, but still, yeah.
Zafir and Darian crawl in the back, begin to doze off, I assume. Yes?
Yes.
Okay.
Najila is resting on his Zafir's shoulder and is nestling against him.
Liberty, go and make a perception check as you continue driving.
Because Darian can't hug him.
Perception 19.
Okay, good to know. You make it off of the pebbly beach and onto first a well-trodden path before making it onto the actual road. Traveling for a little while, you occasionally see creatures akin to like coyotes and such, scavenger night prowlers that are quite terrified of the looming cart and the smell of death that is exuded from the back, as well as the moving light that is cast by the lantern. Nothing really looms out of the darkness to come and try to claim the kill. Yeah. Meanwhile, Rin.
Yes.
The lamp is quite comfy. Have you been in here before?
Rin probably has. Yeah.
Okay. You didn't just get it with like a level up or anything?
No, I've had it.
Okay. The familiar cushions that strewn about the lavish, almost gazebo-like structure, surrounded by what appears to be just a churning orange fog on the outside through which you can ever so slightly occasionally catch a glimpse of the outside world. You can often hear the jingling of harnesses as the lantern swings on the peg that you left it. But inside, it is comfortable. It is pretty quiet, and it's warm. A burning brazier sits in the middle of this structure, around which the cushions are strewn, and it begins to glow and then burn. And as the flames rise, you can hear the voice in the back of your mind saying, "Tribute."
I put. Do you remember what I put in last time?
You put in your gold that you were paid for the job that Yerk gave you.
All of it?
You gave the whole thing.
What do I have that he might like? Do I know what they might like?
They like treasures and trinkets and anything of a gold value.
Okay, I put in 10 gold pieces.
Okay. The flame dims a little bit before growing a bit more. It seems to have accepted the gift but not been satisfied.
What do I have in
I can't tell if I'm driving the cart.
I put the letter in.
Okay.
Because Rin's thought process on that is what's more valuable than information no one else has.
Indeed. Roll a persuasion check with advantage.
Did you change your lighting for this, DM?
22.
What? I don't know what you're talking about. 22. The flame begins to dim until it's just coals. There's a satisfied sense from it. How long are you able to stay in the lantern?
Up to 6 hours.
Up to 6 hours, okay. You're not going to be able to get a full long rest in there, but you can get a decent rest.
Rin's thinking was he could chill in there for a bit and then pop out and take his shift driving.
Understandable. A few hours later, Liberty, you've kind of just continued driving. The scriptures and mantras that you've been reciting for most of the day spin in your head for a little while before something catches. Normally, your thoughts during this time of night tend to just kind of flow from one scripture to the other, keeping you on a balanced tide of consciousness. However, what catches in your mind is as you try to in what most people would be a dreamlike state where you recall things and process information that you've gathered through the day for what everyone else would be a dream. For you have to almost make a conscious effort to remember. And as you do so, your mind does hit a snag when it comes to the fighting that you had. And there's a taste to it, almost. The taste of lemons and blood. Something that it's been a long time since you've touched this part of your mind. And what once was enticing is now repulsive. And a feeling of guilt washes over you. Like a alcoholic having been sober for a long time returning to the drink, there's just this sinking feeling in your chest as you realize that in the heat of the moment you may have messed up.
Returning to its vomit. Full to his folly.
But as you continue driving, Rin does suddenly appear out of seemingly nowhere, though you would assume from the
he's
back of the
sneaky,
cart.
So, yeah, I'm just assuming he's using the sneakiness. And I've also been a bit more distracted, so.
Yeah.
It is something wrong back there?
Second,
Is something wrong back there, Ian?
it's your shift to rest.
I don't need to.
Rest.
If you're sure you're right, you took quite a beating back there.
I'm fine. Look at me, hale and hearty. Nothing to keep this one down.
Right. Well,
Power nap and I'm
you-
back in action.
if you start nodding off or any of those injuries act up, let me know and I can take over again.
Well, you'll know. The screaming will probably lead you right to me.
All right. I'll climb back and or scoot over and find a seat. Pull out my book. Study extra hard right now, but it's probably a lot of staring at the pages and not actually reading any of the words.
For sake of time and everything, you guys do get your long rest first off, which should help you guys with your spell slots.
Yeah.
Long rest.
But you guys do make your way back towards Cortizo and make it back to the Ramtuk Manor. There, the house is empty and quiet. Darian, you would assume that Rain is actually taking your shift at the bookstore at the moment and has left the house alone.
What time of day is it right now?
What time of day? It's probably like late afternoon.
Okay. Were we supposed to just bring it back here, or?
Are
You
there any of the guards at the gate?
would you like to make a perception check?
I didn't hear
Sure.
what she said.
She's asking about guards at the gate.
Natural 20. That is like the dumbest thing to get a natural 20.
Uh,
So that makes it a total of, I think, 23.
as you guys continue along the road towards the Ramtuk Manor, you do take note of a modest group of what appear to be vagabonds or just homeless who have taken up camp across the road.
Rin
Though
waves.
with fair enough. With your keen insight, you do notice that the glares and attentiveness that half of them pay to you is not that of one who has given up
I know.
their time to.
I know people that live on the street, and this is
Yeah,
not
this
the normal
that's not
attitude.
that. It's not the. Maybe they could give me a coin, or just idle curiosity. This is. You can practically see them taking notes in their head before one of them turns to another, gives a nod, and a young boy in the group stands and runs off. It appears that either you are being watched or Heaven's Tower has actually made good on their claim to protect the house. Which would also mean you are being watched, but that's a different kind of being watched.
Spied on versus watched over. But the line is very, very thin with Heaven's Tower, I would assume.
You're not sure.
Given
that would be a fair
Liberty's read off
There
of
isn't a line
Medjin.
because they're always spying on. They're only occasionally watching over.
But to answer Darian's question from earlier, you were just told to retrieve it. You weren't necessarily given a place to bring it to, and would probably make the assumption that that would come later.
Well, whether or not we take it into the property, that I guess would be up to Liberty. Darian's asleep still, I would assume.
Oh no,
I
it's
think
mid-afternoon. You're definitely awake.
Right. Because I'm the one who
And Rin
assumed
was
that
driving.
Rain was not there. That's right. Darian climbs forward, in towards the front. Should we just bring this into the gates? I don't remember her saying anything as to delivery.
Would you prefer to leave it out front for someone else to steal along with the cart?
Well,
The DM would
obviously-
never do.
I mean, obviously.
I
not,
wasn't
but-
even assuming the DM. I just
Yeah.
should be fine
Well,
inside the gates.
Fine. He kind of he doesn't nod or anything, but he if you see his eyes, he glances to the crowd. I kind of assumed that's what they were for, because they're very rarely vagabonds here. No?
There are always vagabonds.
Oh yeah, but I live kind of far out of the city. I kind of figured
Yeah, no.
they'd have a better chance of getting gold in the city.
True, but what normally you end up dealing with on your street are traveling merchants who are too poor to purchase any lodging.
Fair enough.
I mean, let's look
Which
at it this way, though. Can you imagine the amount of effort that would go into stealing a 600-pound goddamn snail?
If we leave it
No,
in
the shell
cart,
is 600 pounds. It is 1,000 pounds as just an entire
My-
unit.
It's a
My
one-ton.
point grows even greater.
Do you want to take it out of the cart first and then
How the
wait
fuck
for
did we
people
get
to
it in the cart? Honestly,
have room
Yeah,
for
four
no,
people.
a lot of good strength rolls and some clever engineering from your rogue. That's how you got it in.
Seriously, but I rolled a 5. All right.
I am taking a very strange role in this party. I was the only one to do research, and I used engineering to get it into the cart.
I like
the
Rin,
assassin
man.
is the nerd.
I mean, Darian definitely would have thought of something at some point.
The assassin has been classically educated.
Yeah, he's got street smarts. It's done well.
Street smarts, y'all gonna die.
Anyways, you guys take the cart into the estate grounds.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
All right. Zephyr will unhitch the horse, making sure the cart's all safe and not mobile, as you all are able to make your way inside.
Mm.
Now is when you find the house to be relatively cold, empty, lifeless, quiet.
Liberty goes straight for the kitchen to make herself some tea.
Darian's gonna head out the back door to check on the pit. Darian just kind of not mumbles, but says basically just loud enough for Rin to hear, kind of out of disinterest more than anything. Rin, you know where the liquor cabinet is, yes?
Obviously.
And then he's already out the back door.
Okay. I
Okay,
believe
Rin is chasing the liquor cabinet.
As he's heading his way through the threshold, pour me whiskey, please. We'll leave it there.
Well, at least your taste has something decent about it.
I'm gonna say Darian didn't hear that. He's already out the door.
pitch was left open, if I remember correctly.
The what?
Yes, this is correct.
The pit was left open, if I remember correctly, for the carry-on
Yes,
birds.
because yes.
Right.
Oh, hello everybody. Hello. I can see everyone's face now.
Oh, I thought you were
Oh,
talking
hi.
about fucking corpses, and I'm sitting there like, oh god, he became a psychopath in like 10 seconds.
I like.
And
He
we
was
thought
giggling
Ray was
over
dark.
murdering an old man with an explosion. So
Oh, hello,
my little
friends. I've been so excited to see you. Oh, your clavicles are looking wonderful today, Jennifer.
You're looking a bit skinnier these days.
Oh, Jerome, your first and second vertebrae are looking mightily well polished. Good on you.
speaking as to the situation of the corpses, there are some bones showing. There is a horrible stench coming from the pit. If I remember correctly, it was 3 people, or was it 4?
4.
4. Yeah, no, it's rough. There have been a few bursts of some of the intestinal region.
Yeah.
Which tends to happen when you've left it out in the hot sun of the desert. Surprisingly little amounts of moisture, though. So that's nice.
Man, you made some stanky zombies.
You did.
Oh.
That is what has happened here.
How close is the progress? What percentage are we looking at here?
I mean, what's your end goal?
Skeletons.
You want skeletons.
At least
Bro,
close
there's
enough
so
to
many-
make skeletons.
Okay, hold on. Pause. Come back. Metagaming a little bit. Come back inside and talk to Rin, please. Ask for help.
He's
There
really
are
good at
faster
skinning
ways
bodies.
to do this.
There's so much faster ways than this. Granted, okay, hold on. To his credit, he is specifically leaving it out for the birds to eat the meat.
No, that's good, but birds only eat so much.
They only eat so much, and they won't touch certain things unless it's specific kinds of birds. But we're not gonna. No.
Don't vultures normally eat pretty much everything after a while?
No, it depends on the vulture.
It depends on the vulture. Yeah.
Like
Fair enough.
there's that'll eat only the bones, that sort of thing.
Which
I'm
you
not
don't
a,
want.
Bird scientist, because no one ever remembers that word other than it starts with an O.
And
It starts with an A.
it starts with an A. An aviologist.
What's the one I'm thinking of that starts with an O then? Because the word I thought it was
There's-
apiary, and that's not quite. It's close, but it's
No,
not quite.
those are bees.
Are you thinking about the Audubon Society? Is that what's
No.
going you of? Okay. Which also I don't think starts with an O, but
That sounds like it starts
There's
with
some
an A
kind
as
of
well.
animal scientist that starts with an O, and I can't think what it is. I don't know.
Anyways,
I'm the dumbest one of the group, which is
No,
a
you're
high
not.
bar, but
no.
still.
No.
Don't. Fair. It is a high bar. You are correct. We are all very stupid. But
No, that's not what I mean.
We all have
Who was it? You I was talking to the other day, Hobbit, about that?
it's probably
It was you. It was him. It was Kel.
okay.
oh,
We're moving
Kel,
on.
Ken, and I
though,
were in a
'cause
call
you're
the other
smart
day,
boy.
and we were joking about how it's like I'm by no means dumb, but given the three of you together, how vast your knowledge is between certain dialects and ways of speaking, that I'm intentionally botching this sentence as a comparison. And especially when it comes to knowing mythology and mythos and stuff like that, it's like I am by no means a dumb person, but by comparison, it's like I am the dumbest of the group, and it hurts a little.
well, do feel better in the fact that we do not see you that way.
I know. That's just
Dude.
me. It's fine.
Yeah, if you
I
want to
couldn't-
see
I
you
couldn't- I
that
couldn't
way,
tell you
that's
the
up to
first
you.
thing about how to make a recording.
What's that?
Yeah, jeez.
I can tell you the first thing about how to make a recording.
Fair enough.
I hate dealing with audio. I've done ADR. I've
Basically,
done
what I'm saying
audio
is stay in
balancing.
your lane.
It's the worst.
Stay in your lane. Absolutely.
lane,
I have
Messi.
3 softwares recording, and we're playtesting this. and we're gonna see how well it works, but hopefully it makes my life a hell of a lot easier.
Exactly. I barely set up Discord.
But no, all of that to be said, Darian's original plan of using carry-on birds for this was not a bad idea. Do not feel dumb for that one. That one,
I mean,
it's gonna take another week.
It's still kind of slow. I'm gonna ask Rin to help.
It's slow,
but it's gonna be really interesting having to ask him.
I mean, if it
trust
helps
is stronger, but
you know he's a paid assassin. He probably knows how to get rid of bodies.
Hey, Rin, can you bring that drink outside? I want to show you something.
No, never mind. I know how to make this organic. Rin leans fully out the back window, like 100%. Like he's using his tail to keep himself from falling completely out.
While Liberty's standing there trying to make tea.
How much do you want?
Of the whiskey.
He's
half a
holding
bottle.
Up the whiskey bottle. He's holding up the whiskey bottle.
Half a bottle sounds good.
What'd you say?
Hey,
Half
my mic's
a
on,
bottle.
right? My mic is on. Half a bottle.
He looks at the glass and looks up. Yeah?
Do you want to just bring me the bottle?
Yeah, okay. I'll grab a different one. Fine. It's fine. I didn't want any. Cause back inside.
Wait, I'm confused.
How
This
much was
is a
in that
bottle
bottle?
that he's already opened, so...
Oh,
He
You
comes
want half
out
a
now
bottle,
holding
you
2
can
bottles
whisper.
of whiskey. One
fair
of
enough.
which is
Okay, yeah.
one of which is the most expensive one he could find out of spite.
Oh, you asshole.
And he hands you the less expensive bottle.
Darian notices, but Darian doesn't care at this point.
You called. He's got like half an eye on the pit.
Darian definitely notices that.
Rin, to better describe what you're looking at, because Darian already knows, but to kind of
Oh, I
give
remember.
a general idea as to what we're looking at, it's about a 10 by 10 foot pit, quite a few feet deep. 4 bodies lay in the bottom. I believe you unclothed them, correct, Darian?
No.
No, okay.
They were straight dragged into the pit, actually.
Okay, so
Other than
they
any looting that was
are
involved.
dressed in what are tattered clothes now, which is probably the only reason you recognize them as the people that you traveled with to kill, to send a message to Darian earlier. There are several birds circling in the sky above you,
Okay.
as well as probably 2 that are still in the pit, picking at the corpses.
So, I feel that's... how do I want to phrase that? Ren, you and I have had a little bit more trust in each other as of recent events. In
You
your
have our
profession...
turn with the direction this conversation is going.
Given that this is more in your line of work,
Seems judgy, but okay.
trust me, it's not judgy. It is asking a friend, so to speak. Is there a way to speed up this process over here?
What process? What are you trying to do? Degrade them?
Well, they did come into my home and attack me and my family, so degradation is kind of in line. I require materials of the calcium variety.
You know, you can just say bones.
I suppose.
Save time. I mean, I could be an asshole and pretend I think you're talking about milk for 10 minutes, but then we lose
For
like
the
30.
record,
That
he's
would
a
be-
wizard. No, he cannot. It's not even about being cagey. He can't not. He knows too many words.
It's kind of a taboo science, so to speak. 'Cause, 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 Yes, I suppose you could do that. That would be in line for you. But yes, I need the bones, but just the bones.
Okay. Do you have lime?
Do I have lime? I could check the pantry.
Not lime. Lye.
Okay, out of character.
Lye is a chemical it's very caustic.
It's commonly used in soap.
DM, do I have lime?
You do not, but you could probably find some in the market.
That would be my response then.
Put them in a barrel full of lye, and you'll end up with the bones in a few days.
I think I will make my way into town later today then.
You could also use some kind of caustic soda if you want to get really aggressive, but you're risking bone integrity at that point.
Which I would prefer.
Also, I don't think I've ever thought that I would have to say in this line of work the words bone integrity, but here we are.
I suppose. Well, that settles that, I suppose. I appreciate your help. And
Have fun being a corpse pervert. He turns around and walks back inside.
Darian looks at him, squints his eyes just a little bit, but he starts drinking the bottle.
That's the better plan.
And he starts making his way inside.
All right. As you both enter, tea's been made. It's good stuff because Liberty's made it. She's good at what she does. Zafir has disappeared. He's not on the first floor.
Is he in the office with his boots on the desk?
Would you like to go check?
Yes.
I think we both know the answer to that.
Leaning your head in, no one's in the
Damn
office.
it! I got so hopeful. So if he's not, Rin's gonna stop looking for him and take up that position himself.
Of course he is. Why would?
Where there are literally grooves in this desk because every male other
Every
than
single male.
No, and the
except
thing.
for Yerk because he's classy. Well, because he's a himbo and
He was also offered
he's too much of a
food,
boy.
so I mean.
He hasn't really gone into the office at all, so it's fine.
Yeah, no, Jesse and I have actually had conversations, and that's the line she says every single time, that there's grooves in the desk because every single male who has stepped foot in this household.
So good. So yeah,
It's canon now,
sit
fight
at the
me.
desk, put
I
your
don't
feet
care.
up, it's comfy.
He picks up a random book on the book nearby and starts reading it. You may choose what book this is.
How to recycle calcium.
Decomposition for Dummies.
The life
It's-
and times of being Lynn.
That's not an O'Haran book, but
I don't
sure.
get that one anyway.
No. This is probably Ahad's study on the humanoid hand and bone structure thereof. It is that whole title on the front of the book. It actually has some pretty good illustrations.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's actually not the least interesting book Rin could have picked up.
No, it talks about the first couple chapters are talking about the first debunking any idea that all of the races have the same skeletal structure, and in fact, it's stupid that anyone would think so. And then it goes into how to identify each species by their hand bones, and then with great labor intensity focused on the naming of each and every bone. And
Rin is going to steal this book.
fair enough, you can add a book of hand bones.
A book of knuckle bones.
Uh,
I wonder how quickly Darian would notice that the book is gone.
I don't
Even
know
a
how
keen
interesting
mind,
it
so-
is the bottle.
uh, I mean, he's not swigging it. He's taking a reserved.
There's a legendary dagger called Bookmark.
Yeah.
Oh, that one. Oh, that one.
What? What are we talking about?
It's a magical dagger that has some cool properties, but we don't have it yet. Maybe later.
Yeah.
Okay.
As you're sitting there thumbing, oh boy.
Bookmark.
As you're sitting there thumbing through the book, you do hear the thudding of horse hooves outside in the courtyard. Specifically written.
I glance out the window.
You see 3 horses, one of which sits, a lady sits astride, red, a red outfit, lace over the arms and over the face, same. This would be Keeper Najila.
Okay.
As long as did the name right?
Najin, I think.
Yes, sir.
Najin. Yeah, Najin.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna ask.
Yep, Najin. There it is. There's my notes.
Najila is my bird.
N-E-G-I.
Yes, that's why. I was like, I know Najila
You
is
did
in
this to
here.
us, Kaka.
Keeper,
Real quick, I finally figured out to do custom equipment. What were the stats on the poison crossbow bolts, real quick? It's like DC.
DC 14. On a failed save, it's 3d6 poison, and they are poisoned. On a successful save, it's half damage, and they are not poisoned.
On failed save, how much?
3d6.
3d6. And
After entering the building again, Darian had taken up to laying on one of the couches in the middle.
Mm-hmm.
Does he hear the hoofs?
Not from where he is now.
Okay. So he is currently laying on the couch, tipping the bottle, as his head is on like the arm of the couch. He has stopped giving a shit at this point for the day for the week, I should say. Given the events.
Totally fair. There's a certain camaraderie that you have with people that you've almost died with, and a certain formality that is left behind.
Too true, which works really well. It is for the best that we've all almost died.
From your position, Rin, you see Najid step off of her horse, as do her 2 guards that are with her. She does walk over to where the cart is and lifts a corner of the tarp.
I thought you were going to say just lifts the...
Just lifts the whole thing up above her head, one-handed.
She is strong.
Rin just sits there staring in horror.
She's strong.
She could kill me with her little finger.
Sitting there's like, oh no.
Whoosh.
I have been attempting to write more strong female characters because they're underappreciated. But that's a bit too much.
Sure could.
Strong female characters.
She inspects the goods for a few minutes before turning and heading towards the front door.
We have guests.
Pretty much right after he says that, you hear
hearing fucking Rin, hearing Rin, his head kind of like perks up forward a little bit, like just someone suddenly paying more attention, and then hearing the knock, he groans a little bit as he stands up. he walks and opens the door, bottle still in hand. Although he's holding it more by the neck now with his left hand. Darian opens the door. Keeping the Najin. Welcome.
She quickly takes everything in, including the bottle. Mr. Rantuk, I am pleased to see that you have returned so quickly.
5 o'clock somewhere. Probably Hutsang, but it's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Some much needed
Don't do the math.
Debriefing. Not debriefing.
Decompressing.
It is decompressing. Some much needed decompressing. Yeah, it was in order. Would you like a drink?
No, I make a point to not drink while conducting business. Thank you. May I come in?
Of course. Darian lets him in and then sets the bottle on a small end table, a little round end table that's next to the door.
Entryway table.
Yes, essentially.
Yes.
I don't furniture in particular.
She takes a few steps in, and just kind of takes a cursory glance around the room.
Liberty has not moved from her seat at the table with her tea.
Okay.
Hasn't even looked up.
DM, would it be a point of order to send the two of them, or show the two of them rather, the layout of the first floor?
It's not that big of a deal.
Okay.
For context, Kelso and I have been working on the actual floor plan of the house. So
he has a very beautiful art style, and I'm jealous.
It's really not that good looking, but I appreciate your lies. Looking around, she does take note of Liberty and says, "Did all of you make it back?"
I died.
There he is. Wonderful. There is a bitterness in the back of her throat when she says that.
So you're like this with everybody.
Really hopeful.
We all have our masks. Mine's just easier to wear than most.
If everyone is not too exhausted from the journeys, I would love to have a discussion.
Of course.
I'm in the office.
Seats. Would you care for some tea?
Tea would be lovely, thank you.
I'll pour her a cup.
Yes, go ahead.
As I'm assuming that she's probably walking over as towards Liberty as she's preparing her tea. Darian excuses himself and leans into the study, fully aware, fully noticing that his feet are up on the desk, and doesn't make a single word against it.
Pretty sure he walks in and you just
almost
see
as if he does. It almost
turn to the
appears that
feet
he
first.
doesn't notice as far as his behavior. Rin, come on, let's go. Business. I know. Let's
Standing,
go.
it's the worst.
Business
But the book was so interesting.
Why is it always?
I just got a metacarpal.
Um,
Just got 2 metacarpals.
Darian I'm assuming that the book is if he's actively reading the book, that I could probably see the cover of it. Yes? No?
I mean, unless he's specifically hiding it, yeah.
Okay. As far as I know, he could be reading the book straight above him, and since he's leaning back, so I wasn't sure. Theater of the mind. Darian kind of chuckles and tells him to look at a certain page number, 256 or something.
Gross.
My favorite page.
It's I'm gonna say that the page is a the book it's the book is labeled essentially which bones in the hand are weakest or most pliable as far as breaking.
Pressure points for shattering.
Yeah, essentially. Because the
Yeah,
assassin
that would
rogue
definitely
might
be a section.
Handy.
So you all meet out at the table. I would like to first off thank you as a representative from Heaven's Tower for bringing the item as requested. As per our agreement, she gestures to one of her guardsmen who steps forward and puts a few large bags of gold on the table with payment.
Rin leans forward. This is payment for the shell, however, the body was never agreed on. If you want it, that's fine. However, we would like to some sort of recompense if you are not, due to the fact that the body was not stipulated.
I was about to comment on your apparent overzealousness for bringing the entire body back. What is your price, pray tell?
100.
Done. An extra 100 is laid on the table.
Rin knows full well that he probably undershot the price, but he also knows that no one's really going to
No one wants to haggle right now.
Nobody wants to haggle right now.
It may be
Especially with the amount of boldness that
expectation, but we're so done.
Especially with the level of boldness that came with him jumping the gun on that. Even like when he said so, Darian kind of looked over at him with a little bit of surprise. Because I guess I would say that Darian didn't really think of it in the first place. But Darian is a little bit impressed by it.
Darian will remember this.
Scribbles notes.
Did anyone take notes on the amount of gold to be
300
paid?
gold pieces per person, or
Okay.
a cut.
There it is.
Yerk doesn't remember.
Yes. The coin is all laid out on the table. I thought that I had that, and I just wanted to make sure. For some reason, I didn't put it in my notes.
300 per person?
300 per person,
Yeah,
or
person.
a cut.
A cut in what? Oh, in the selling of the shell. And this is me Forge asking because I don't remember.
You Forge. Rin
Me
didn't
Kelso.
ever actually get a direct answer to that. The stipulation was in writing, and you were not able to ask as to what a cut meant. Normally, that does mean a cut of the profits.
Before we agree on the style of payment, what does a cut entail in this case? We've got people here who aren't used to Heaven's Tower's way of doing things.
An understandable query. Normally, in situations like this, a cut may be, if it is a monster that has been hunted, either a cut of the meat or a product from said creature. From the flail snail, given that the shell itself is actually completely intact, what I can offer you is an item rarely, if ever, seen.
Is it a blade of bookmark or whatever it's called?
No,
It is
no,
not
it is not
a
the
blade of
bookmark.
bookmark.
That's not in character.
The bookmark dagger.
I am uncertain as to whether or not you know as to the things that can be made from a flail snail's shell.
If I had to hazard a guess, something that reflects spells.
You would be correct.
Darian shudders just a little bit at that and starts absent-mindedly rubbing his right hand.
Rin is hiding a smile.
Darian hasn't even
professional.
noticed that he's doing it.
Should you, as a collective, choose to forego the payment, I have been informed that I am given permission to offer you 100 gold pieces per person, and in addition, a shield made from the shell of this flail snail.
One shield or a shield per person?
A single shield.
Rin sort of side eyes
Liberty
Liberty,
is the only one who
who
wields a
recalls
shield.
using a shield.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Zephyr uses a two-handed weapon.
I believe that at least I believe that I will be going with the second option and take a cut.
Liberty watches Darian's reaction first before
Darian's
replying.
looking to Liberty since she'd be the one getting the shield, obviously.
Which she's aware of this and is just checking to see if anyone seems upset of the idea of a lesser cut.
And if any of you two could make a decision sometime this century instead of just playing eye games and looking at each other, that'd be great.
Also, should you wish to discuss this among yourselves, I can step out for a moment.
She wants
you are
to-
aware that there were four of us that retrieved the snail, correct?
I was informed that the fourth was in fact conscripted from the house's staff.
To
At this
clarify,
point, full head
see-
turn
so
to
her
Darian.
her point that she's making is that Zephyr wasn't part of the deal, right?
Her
Yeah,
point that, yeah, technically, yes.
that Zephyr is
uh,
basically just part of Darian.
Yeah.
Household, so therefore
Point of order.
To put this in a less racist
Darian.
manner, you hired him, you pay him.
Point of order, Rin just took care of that. He just scored Zephyr's cut by selling the body.
True.
Fair. That's true.
I have a decent charisma bonus.
No.
Yes.
I have decided that Zephyr will be fuck. I don't have a charisma bonus. Zephyr is available to take jobs for Heaven's Tower.
Before Darian finishes what he's saying, Rin's tail sort of thwacks him in the side.
Okay,
right on the lightning scar.
No, I would imagine he's hitting my leg or something.
I don't give a shit where I hit you. I'm hitting you.
It's that elbow. Someone
Obviously.
shut up, man.
I don't need to tell the
Top of the morning.
23 to stealth rogue, but normally when a mother steps on her child's foot, they step on the foot rather than smack them across the back of the head for a reason.
Well, no, he smacked you in the side with his tail. You are all sitting at the table. It is not
Fair enough.
noticeable.
Okay. So help the low intelligent player here. Your point being?
He's
Rin's point is shut up and stop digging yourself a grave you won't be able to dig yourself out of.
Okay. Of course, that was not stipulated beforehand.
Indeed, it was not.
I'm satisfied with a cut.